Before I even begin highlighting the finer points of the Sefer Yetzirah, I want to lay down a few comments. I won't be getting into the various versions or really discussing the scholarly side when I'm 100% certain channels like Esoterica or the Seekers of Unity have already covered all of that. The Book of Foundations has been with us a long time already. There's plenty of commentaries, both from the Middle Ages and modern day, that approach the text from a myriad of directions. I will say this, though. The Sefer Yetzirah makes a lot of assumptions about the reader. It's so brief at points that one can't help but wonder how long it existed within the oral tradition before it was written down. It delivers a system of classification that would fly over a casual reader's head, but that's what makes it a mystic's best friend. One almost has to digest it line by line to even begin to understand what it's talking about. Personally, even after years of meticulous study, it still has plenty of meat. So what do we know about the Sefer Yetzirah? Like I said, the Sefer Yetzirah assumes its readers have a fair amount of wisdom concerning the hidden things. Its foundation lays out a divine structure to the cosmos, but it has to be decoded. We see the Sephirot and the holy beings, the first Sephirah being the Ruach HaKodesh of God, and the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet engraved within it. Right. Then it lists the elements in succession, followed by the cosmic directions. 22 foundational letters, how the elements and letters manifest in the human body, the letters and polarities of concept, cosmology, time, and organs of the bodies, hence the breathing and the liver in some of the Kabbalist meditations you come across. Anyways, it closes with letters in the zodiac, followed by how one can attain the highest level of wisdom within creation. Now, in some ways, this is wonderful because it shows us just how deeply one can study the universe in their search of divine wisdom. The power of the 22 letters and the 10 Sephirot inspired countless generations of mystics to seek said wisdom for themselves. How else would Kabbalah as we know it today have come into being? Okay, so like the letter combinations in the more prophetic systems of guys like Abraham Abulafia are obviously tied into his study of the Sefer Yetzirah. He even has his own commentary equipped with diagrams and arrangements of the spheres. Now, before you write Abulafia off as a mere rabbi, if you follow any Western esoteric tradition with magical practice wrapped up in the Sephirah, it's Abulafia who paved the way. And he made a numerical system for words themselves, putting him ahead of Turing by centuries. Dude was like Neo reading the binary code of the cosmos. For real. Now, the final and most important point I want to make before we go any further is the Sefer Yetzirah predates the Lurianic Kabbalah we associate with today. The Sephirot may be a mainstay in the Zohar, but before Moshe de Leon did his thing, the Sephirot weren't thought of in the same way they are now. Even late into the Middle Ages, guys like Cordovero were still following that old school rule and refusing to assign multiplicity within the divine. See, they believe that attributes and names have a way of defining and separating, implying what a thing isn't or assigning what it is. So the Sefer Yetzirah dips around all of that. Obviously, this is because an all-encompassing being in union with creation doesn't suffer something that is other than. Like, there'd be no free will, right? But the universe does seem to be permeated with the sense of self-awareness that forms into isness whenever sentient beings are near enough to experience. What? Yeah, in some ways, the Book of Formation is a lot like quantum physics. It's like this early Jewish mystery science, assigning unseen forces vibrating within the words, engraving within itself. I don't know, but it was the Lurianic tradition that switched up the narrative and made a more universal doctrine. In spite of this shift in Kabbalah, the power of the letters and the Sephirot have never diminished. Both are a part of so many different magical systems and intense study of Torah that our whole consciousness has shifted how we consume mysticism. Why do I bring all this into the mix? Because much in the same way, one must understand the Essene doctrines and Mesopotamian religions to get a handle on how the Yeshua group became a world religion. One must also understand the earliest forms of Jewish mysticism to even dig into occult science. No foundation, no shelter from the array of storms we'll encounter applying the meditations, because no one stays in the theoretical waters of mysticism for all that long. Y'all know this or you wouldn't be here. We're searching for the divine within all things, including self. That's why this book has been heartfelt by every generation since it came into being. Even if reading it is a frustrating mystery ride in God's roller coaster, it's still dope as y'all know what it is. Like the 10th use of Elohim in Genesis, it's implied. So keep breathing in light and living in love. Y'all got this.